Sometimes life gives us a moment that feels impossible, a moment where everything seems to fall apart. Yet somehow everyone makes it through. Today's story is one of those moments. A true event the world came to call the miracle on the Hudson. It happened on a cold afternoon, January 15, 2009 in New York City. What began as a routine takeoff became one of the most remarkable rescues in aviation history. At 3:26 p.m., U.S. Airways Flight 1549 prepared to depart for Charlotte. On board were 150 passengers and 5 crew members. In the cockpit sat Captain Chesley Sullenberger, known simply as Sully, and First Officer Jeff Skiles, who was handling the takeoff that day. The aircraft lifted smoothly from LaGuardia Airport. Just minutes into the flight, passengers settled in. The crew followed their normal routines. Everything was calm. Then, without warning, a dark shape filled the cockpit's view. A flock of large Canadian geese struck the aircraft head-on. Loud impacts rattled the engines. Both power units failed almost instantly. The cockpit filled with warning alerts. The plane began to lose altitude rapidly. A dual-engine failure at low altitude over a crowded city is one of the most dangerous emergencies in aviation. Below them stretched the dense landscape of Manhattan, bridges, skyscrapers, and millions of people. There was no clear place to land. No easy escape. Air traffic control suggested returning to LaGuardia or diverting to Teterboro Airport in New Jersey. But Captain Sullenberger quickly ran the numbers in his mind: altitude, distance, glide capability. Within seconds he understood the truth. They wouldn't reach any airport. With calm certainty he spoke the words that would later become famous. "We're gonna be in the Hudson." Landing a commercial airliner on water is something pilots study mostly in theory. In practice, it is extremely difficult. If the nose dips too low or the wings tilt even slightly, the aircraft can break apart. But Sully and Skiles worked together with precise coordination, maintaining pitch, controlling speed, keeping the wings level. Every second mattered. Inside the cabin, flight attendants called out, "Brace! Brace! Heads down!" Passengers clutched the seats. Some cried. Some whispered to themselves. Others simply waited for the impact. Then it came, a long, scraping rush as the aircraft touched the river and slid across the surface like a skimming stone. When the motion stopped, there was silence. People looked around in disbelief. They were alive. All of them. Passengers moved quickly to the exits. Cold air rushed in. They stepped onto the wings of the floating aircraft, huddling together on the freezing January afternoon. The now iconic image of dozens standing on the wings was captured in those moments. Ferries, water taxis, and rescue boats rushed toward the plane. Commuters and emergency workers pulled people from the river with remarkable urgency and cooperation. Within 24 minutes, all 155 people were safely rescued. Not a single life was lost. The NTSB later described the event as one of the most successful emergency landings in aviation history. Captain Sullenberger became a national hero, but he remained humble. He often said, "That day wasn't about one person. It was about all of us doing our jobs." He credited his first officer, the cabin crew, the rescuers, and the passengers who stayed calm and helped one another. People still ask how such a miracle was possible. Maybe it was skill. Maybe training. Maybe teamwork. Or maybe it was the simple human instinct to protect the lives beside us. On that winter afternoon above the Hudson River, A group of strangers faced the unthinkable and walked away together. Thank you for listening. This has been LunaBooks.